Yo, yo, yo. So, today in AMC, it's September 20th, Monday, 2021, the first trading day after the week of correction from AMC's recent runs up. And so I just want to provide some technical analysis, provide some of my basically what I see coming in the near future for the stock, and the potential outcomes. So first off, we have this long-term logarithmic line that I've been following for a long time, right? And we broke below it a few days ago, a few trading days ago. Um, and now we're trading down. Now, obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world economy, as far as Evergrande goes, all the China stuff, and then also the U.S. talking about raising their debt ceiling. But again, I trust technical analysis because I think that it actually encapsulates all of these factors. So I was talking about this briefly in my live stream, and I'm actually live streaming this video right now. So if you want to watch these videos be made live, feel free to subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on, as well as like the videos so that you're always notified whenever I'm going live or post a new video. But um, what I think we should take away from today is that in the grand scheme of things, what we saw from the close on Friday is a 9% move down in a very bearish, right? We have very bearish momentum happening here, aggressive bearish momentum. And also, the world economy is in turmoil right now, right? So I think that all things considered, this move isn't too bad. And so I think it's important that we talk about what caused this move and why I think that we actually have found support here and what that implies about the near future for AMC stock. So, what I believe is that currently we are in a falling wedge pattern. And actually, let me change the time frame for the chart so that it's a little bit easier for me to find the proper spots. Man, I don't know. This could be a breakout coming here. Falling wedge here. And there are a few different ways that you can draw it, and it's still a falling wedge. You could draw it from back here. And even you have this resistance that goes into support. That could actually be a form of wedging. That basically, and again, just to say what a falling wedge is it insinuates that price action is being driven to the downside, but with less and less enthusiasm to the downside, which actually makes the falling wedge a bullish reversal pattern typically. And so what I like to do in my thesis, whenever I'm building up a technical thesis for the short term, is I like to check my theory with a few different other theories that I trust. Now, we know that AMC likes AMC. AMC likes AMC. Yeah. We know that AMC likes wedges and triangles. It likes to get into these wedge and triangle patterns. It doesn't really like cup and handles. Like, it doesn't break out of cup and handles properly, I notice. It just doesn't tend to like respect those for some reason, in my opinion. So what we do know is that pretty much anything follows Elliott wave theory. Anything you can trade, any price action can basically be driven down to Elliott wave theory, especially when you look back on it. So let's try and figure out what those waves are right now. So, in my belief, I think that this move is a macro wave 1 that is comprised of a 5-wave impulse subset. And after a 5-wave impulse, you have a 3-wave correction typically. And you can also have a 5-wave correction, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But the 3-wave is kind of this A, B, C. And so why would I do this as well as the pattern? Well, it's interesting because, if you draw trend lines, right, and you draw patterns, you actually will find that Elliott wave theory exists within these patterns. And so, if in Elliott wave theory, what happens after your wave one is you have a wave two and then a wave three. So, what would that look like? And we measure those using Fibonacci, which we'll do here in a second. So, if this is a macro wave one, and then this is our macro wave two, then we would expect to have a wave three that has upside, then a wave four, and a wave five. And I can show you that in AMC's recent move in June. What you have with that is you have 1, 2, 3, which is normally the most explosive wave, 4, 5, which is typically the length of wave 1, but it can get extended depending on the market environment. And so what do we do? This is what I think that we're going into here, if I'm being honest. So if we scrunch the chart up a little bit, what you would actually expect is, based on my theory, a little bit more. This is much more aggressive, right? It's not just like a simple trend. It's more of an explosive kind of like a parabolic kind of like, yeah. It's a parabolic move up. An explosive parabolic move up is historically what AMC has done in the past year whenever it's been in these sorts of technical scenarios, right? Whenever it's down visiting this trend area, which, by the way, trend lines are useful, but I think channels are even better, right? So whenever it's in this kind of buy zone, it tends to bounce up eventually. Now the chart is starting to look kind of crazy, so let me circle back a little bit. Okay, yeah, and then we'll zoom in. So how do we determine where the bottom of this wave 2 would be then? And obviously this could not be a wave 2. This could be what's going to turn into maybe a double top, which causes a reversal and we see more downside potentially. But that's not what I believe. What I believe is that we're in this falling wedge, which correlates with the emotions of a wave 2, which would signal reversal at some point. So let me finish out this falling wedge because it can go to a point, and AMC does tend to go to points of these patterns, which a falling wedge, a lot of times you'll see it drawn without any points. Like when you see traders posting about this or something, they'll usually draw it like this. They won't even draw points on it because it doesn't typically need them. But AMC is very dramatic in the way that it likes to play its patterns. But what we could do is to determine these levels is the same thing that we did, and why I think we may be having a bottom here for AMC. The same thing we did in my video from yesterday to figure out where we thought this bottom might come in. Draw a Fibonacci retracement from the bottom of the move to the top of the move, which is 52.83. And then you can see here, the most key level is the golden pocket, the 0.618 to 0.65. And when I tell you today, we got a perfect bounce right off of it, even in the worst market conditions possible, we got that bounce. And so I think that what you're going to see here is this is actually going to be the new trend line. This will be the new longer term bullish trend, in my opinion, that people start to chart. And so then, how do we figure out where the next move up might be? Well, we do a Fibonacci extension. So when I'm doing this Fibonacci extension, I am assuming, okay, so we don't know for sure. We could still see more downside, and I'll talk about that. But we're assuming that this is the top of this move, and this is the bottom. Okay? And so with that, the extension tool gives you the ability to see what your potential next move up could be. And the 1.618 golden ratio is the most common breakout target on a smaller term, right? Because this is the smaller move. And when I say smaller move, let me explain what I mean by that too, so that I don't leave anybody in the dark that's watching the video. If they have watched this far along, thank you so much for watching this far along, by the way. If you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe, hit post notifications so you never miss a video. When I say it's a smaller move, I'm saying in comparison to like the move in January where we saw a price run up. And then if you measure this extension, it actually, if you use that as your wave one, you can actually, it nearly predicted the top in June perfectly. Well, it did 72.68. What was the top? I do this every video. Sorry. I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is within pennies, I think, of the top. So I'm not going to zoom in anymore. So yeah, so there are a few different ways then if you want to do like a more macro analysis on where you think price could go. You could say, okay, well then in that case, I want to measure from the bottom of the move before June down to the top. I mean, up to the top, and then down to the bottom of the move whenever we corrected. And then perhaps you would say, okay, what correlates with the existing trend of rejection, right? Where have we gotten rejected historically? We've gotten rejected here. Let me change the color of this so it's easier to see. We've gotten rejected here at this red trend line. And so last time we hit the 3.618, which is very overextended. This is a very euphoric level, right? And obviously, I'm pretty sure you guys saw AMC on the news and all kinds of shit whenever that happened. Everybody on social media was talking about it. But so maybe you see some regression of that or something, but these are the types of price levels, especially 1.618, that are gonna have some sort of resistance to them. And when I say that, I mean like maybe you could see. I guarantee you, I haven't looked at it yet, but I guarantee you that the wave three for this ended at the 1.618. Let's just do it to test it, see if I'm psychic or not. Oh my goodness, look at that. The 1.618, it's a yellow line. Boom. That's where you saw your wave three in, and then boom, you had your wave five up. So you're going to see that sort of, it's going to stop out, right? Like, even if it does do that euphoric run thing that it did, where it runs for 5 days straight and everybody's wondering what the hell's going on, you're still going to have stop outs and stuff like that. But that's because traders are going to look at those levels and get out of their positions. So, altogether, I mean, we could see more downside. Let me talk about what that looks like. But not, to be honest with you, before I do this, not much has changed since my last video. Boom. And then, I mean, even if you had a retracement down to this $34 level, you're still at the 0.786, which is still a retracement that you could see recovery from to the upside, and you could still say that this was a wave two. Now, if you get down to this one, right, which is the 2890, which is where, right, the move started, then you're in a triple bottom scenario kind of thing, right? Where you have like this horizontal line. And then what has to happen is there's going to be a lot of indecision. There's going to be a lot of like, it's going to be a very dramatic scenario if this happens. And you're going to see price, really probably wrestle around here for a little bit. And then bulls would be hoping to start a new 5-wave trend, most likely from there. Would be kind of what you're looking for. And then bears are going to be fighting to drive the price even lower. Bears would be looking for, they would be trying to break this 0.618 that they couldn't break before and break down to this 2248. That would be like the price targets that would be entered. Like bears would enter short positions once we break below here, and they'd be looking to exit at this 0.786. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go and revisit the 0.786. But that's just kind of the bearish trading strategy, if you will. So yeah. So like I said, that's my scenario for next week. I mean, well, not next week, but tomorrow. And I mean, overall, I feel pretty good about AMC handling this. I thought that maybe you would get a more bearish candle that has this really heavy close at the bottom, where maybe you would see the body of the candle stay down here. I still wouldn't panic in that scenario. Like I said, we're still within my Fibonacci range. And then also you could also do it like this. Like Fibonacci works in so many different ways, but you could do boom, boom, and then you can see that if you did a fib extension here off of wave one, you see here that price goes, oh shit, 1.618. I got to turn around, right? Like this is a this works. Okay, it works. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching the video. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts. Comments definitely help a lot too. So make sure you drop a few of those if you have any questions, anything like that. But overall, I think that that we're in a pretty good spot as far as AMC goes. Obviously, there are some world economy things going on that we're gonna be watching, and it's gonna have an effect on the market at large. And we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, time will only tell, right? So, yeah. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Thank you.